What up, boys, and welcome back to yet another video. So, Blizzard just made a dev update on changes coming to Season of Discovery already next week, and also the way forward with Season of Discovery. Ton of huge changes, and some of them are really cool, and something that I've been saying since day one that I've been wanting. So, in this video, we're going to go over the news, and I'm going to give my own personal take on it. First of all, though, big thank you for all the support on the complete gold guide for Season of Discovery. It's been absolutely amazing with Season of Discovery, the release, and the gold guide. I'm so glad that you guys are finding it of value. And if you have no clue what it is, it's basically a gold guide that's tailored towards making gold in Season of Discovery. And every single time we get a new phase in Season of Discovery, I update the gold guide with the best methods and farms for that phase. So if that sounds interesting, you can find it linked down below in the description. Now, we're going to go through the at least the important takes of the dev update. It is quite long, so I will also link it down below in the description. But first of all, we have like the first thing they were talking about is XP buff and leveling. So they say starting next week, the March 5th, with maintenance, the Discovery's Delight XP buff will be enabled in all realms, increasing XP gain from level 1 to 39 by 100%. Up from 50. Now, I remember when they released the buff for the first time, making it 50%. I was like, why is this not 100%? It's a seasonal game. If you want people to play around with all the different classes, with all the different runes, people are not going to be arsed to do that unless it's relatively fast to level up. It gives no advantage whatsoever on a seasonal server. So I'm super excited about this. However, I do think that they, because they're saying later down that they always intended to increase it to 100% buff from 1 to 39, but that was when Phase 3 launched. So I think that this has been implemented because they're seeing a decline in active players. Like, don't get me wrong, I am enjoying Season of Discovery. I'm playing it, but it doesn't feel exactly the same as when Phase 1 launched. Like, when I leveled up a bunch of different alts, did a lot of different stuff. Phase 2 just hits different, and I'm seeing a lot of comments about that in the community as well. It's still fun, but right now, when it's pretty much just raid logging and making some gold, I am at the point where I want to play retail alongside with Season of Discovery, just because there's not that many things to do in Phase 2. So, and a lot of people, they cannot be arsed to run like Scarlet Monastery with all their level 25 alts to level up to 40. So I think this is really good, and I hope that they will make some leveling adjustments moving forward with the other phases as well, because once you go from level 40 to level 50, that's going to take longer than 25 to 40. Now, 50 to 60 is going to take even longer. The amount of XP you need between each level is drastically increased, and I'm just afraid that if they don't like add something like the sleeping bag or do something about to reduce the leveling, the time it takes to level, I think there's going to be a lot of people falling off as we progress into each phase. They are also saying that they are going to be reducing the cost of normal racial mounts and mount training by roughly half at level 40. We do not have changes planned for epic mounts at 60 at this time. I think that's going to come as well. Epic mounts like 1,000 gold, so I think they will nerf that one also later on. I can see why they were doing it though, reducing the mount cost, because when you level twice as fast, if you have the sleeping bag even faster, like, you're not going to make as much gold, like, reaching level 40. Normally, if you just play the game normally, you do all the quests, etc., you'll make, like, roughly the 80, 90 gold you need for the mount. But now, as you're leveling faster, you're not going to make that much gold as you're leveling. So they are also going to increase the base gold reward from all quest rewards while playing at level 1 to 39. So maybe they've roughly doubled the gold gain from quests. So you should still be able to buy a mount just by leveling normally, hopefully. And then they're talking about, like, what everyone has been wondering, like, how are raids going to look at level 60 specifically? Like, are we going to have 40-man raids? I know a lot of people watching my videos and streams, they want 40-man raids. They love them. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of them in Season of Discovery because they're just not that pug friendly. It's that's one thing that I absolutely love about Season of Discovery and the 10-man raids. Like, you can just log in and out, find yourself a pug in a heartbeat, no problem to dive into it. It's relatively easy. Getting loot is also way easier in a 10-man than it is in a 40-man. But the level 50 raid is not going to be 10-man, it's going to be 20-man. And Molten Core will also be 20-man. And there's going to be a new experience. So they're probably going to tune it and also tune the loot on it. They were talking a lot about that in this blue post about some of the ideas that they have, with some example that, for instance, Sulgurub has always been seen as like a catch-up raid, so you don't need to do some of the other raids prior to that. But it's been relatively easy to get some nice, fast loot. Now, what if they basically made Sulgurub a little bit harder, but at the same time made the loot also a little bit better? Like, is that something that people would like? And then obviously they want feedback. So a lot of this is subject to change, but I can't see any reason why anyone would argue against the XP and leveling part with 100% increased XP, the mount reduction, the increased gold reward from quests. I don't think anyone is going to argue that. There is already a lot of heated discussion about the raid sizes, though. And I think, like, most optimally, and classic Andes, don't be mad at me, but I think most optimally, the raids should scale with your team. So if you have 16 people going into Molten Core, the HP of the and the damage from the bosses will be scaled accordingly. If you bring 12 people, it will scale accordingly to that. And it will be really cool if also the loot would scale. So the more people you bring, the more loot is dropping, but also the more HP the bosses have. And you can, if you want to, go in with fewer people, because there's a lot of like medium-sized guilds that will struggle to fill multiple Molten Core raids, for instance. But if you can go in, as long as you have a decent setup, like the correct amount of tanks and healers, you can go in, even if you have 19 people, 14 people, you don't need to exclude anyone. But that's just my personal experience, seeing that I do have a community guild where we raid with people from stream and also YouTube. So sometimes we have to leave people out of the raids because we don't have room for them, and we don't have enough for like a raid number 3 or 4 or whatever it is. So I think that will be really cool. But please let me know what you think about these changes down below in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, because I got plenty of Season of Discovery videos incoming. So if you don't want to miss those out, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to check out the complete gold guide for Season of Discovery, and I will see you all back in at tomorrow's video. But until then, bye-bye.